Hi everyone and welcome back to this channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Book Newbie Tag. BookTube Newbie Tag? I'll figure it out and put it in the title. It's good that I know the title of the video that I'm doing. That's great. So yeah, to be honest, I think I'll just get right in. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? I think for me, I tried to get into BookTube a while ago, but I couldn't really connect with the videos for some reason. It wasn't super engaging for me. But then the apocalypse happened and I was watching a lot of videos on YouTube because I was inside and that was something I could do. And I was watching a lot of Jack Edwards in his second channel, Jack in the Books, and Uncali, and they're both booktubers, and I found them both really entertaining, funny, and they were talking about books, which happened to be a thing that they loved, and I was doing a lot of reading as well. So then I just thought, well, I also love books, and I could talk about them. So I thought, why not deliver maybe some peace for people in these times. I don't think I'm funny like they're funny, but I think I could deliver some kind of peace through the videos that I make, hopefully. So yeah, that's why I've started this channel. Question 2 is, what fun and unique things do you think you can bring to BookTube? And I think for me, I focus a lot on literature from quite a range of places. So I'm reading a lot of African literature in the moment, but I've done a lot of sort of Persian, Iranian literature reading, and reading from the Middle East and North Africa, and yeah, just around the world. So I like reading quite widely, and I think that'd be nice to share with you, so that it's not just very focused on one particular place and therefore one way of articulating or writing. I also love nature and environmental writing books, so I really want to share those with you, because I'm all about building nature connection and nature connectedness. So hopefully I can share those too, and I want to sort of give a peaceful vibe to my channel, and I hope that that's gonna be something that I can, well, yeah, I just want to give a peaceful vibe to my channel. And I also think it'd be nice because I can sort of represent or help represent mixed people or mixing people who aren't, necessarily gender conforming on BookTube. So it's sort of a chance for me to use my positionality for a beneficial purpose. Yeah. So question 3, I'm looking down because I've written the questions out, sorry. Question 3 is what am I most excited about for this new channel? I think I'm really excited about hearing people's opinions and thoughts and sharing in different people's opinions on books, and sort of getting that conversation going eventually, and sharing in that. I just think that's really powerful. I think it's really important as well, because you can develop so many different ideas, but you can also see different ways people read the same text and the way that it means different things for different people. And I think that's really important because it shows you that even though a work of literature is itself, it also has many different forms because it can be read in so many different ways by different people. And I think those different readings are really important, and so I'm really excited to hear about those because I think it broadens your mind to read books and to talk about books. So question 4 is, why do you love reading? I suppose it's quite related to the previous point. So just as literature can be interpreted in many ways, I think that there are worlds in books. Literally, fantasy writers write worlds into their books. But there are worlds in both, fiction and non-fiction pieces of literature. And non-fiction allows you to sort of broaden your mind and hear other voices that are human or maybe even, you know, non-human. And then fiction books do so in a sort of not more creative way, but in a different kind of creative way. So I think they're both really beneficial for creating worlds that you can either escape into or learn more about, essentially. So that's why I love reading. Question 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? Okay. I'm unsure which book got me into reading because I've been reading for a very long time. So I don't really know the answer to this question. But I do remember being very young and lying in the hallway. And I was reading a book. I was laying on my stomach and I was reading a book, and my mum was in the bath. And I would always just shout to her and ask her questions like, what does this word mean? Or, you know, like what does this sentence mean, if I didn't really get the context or something. So I was always reading books and asking questions. And yeah, that was just a theme throughout. And then I was also always in the library reading because we didn't have lots of money growing up. So, and I really liked reading, so we couldn't be buying books all the time. So my mum got me a library card, and we went to the library a lot. And one of the series in the library was the Lady Grey series. I think it's Lady Grey series. Sorry, forgot what that. And they were so fascinating to me because they were like historical fiction mysteries, and I really like mystery. Yeah, I just really like mystery, and the era was really interesting to me because it was like 1500s, so like 16th century, I think. It was a long time ago, but I think so. So yeah, I really loved that series, and from there I just moved into YA as I got older, and then I moved into what I read now, basically. Okay, so question 6 are what questions do you have for your favourite booktubers? I think my main question is like, how are you? Are you okay? Life is really stressful right now. Like, how are you doing? Do you need a tea? Do you want a brew? Like, let's have a chat. And then more on the other end of after asking about their well-being would be, you know, what inspires you and what touches you inside and outside of reading. You know, I think it's very important to get to know people as people, and when we're recording things like this or watching videos online, we forget that there are real human people there. So yeah, I want to know what inspires people and how they are. I think those are my questions. Question 7 is, what challenges do you think will be the hardest to overcome? And I think one of the challenges is frankly staying interesting. But I think the point is with YouTube channels really, or, you know, normatively, and just my opinion, what I think the point is to love what you do. And it's easier to say that than to actually, you know, do that. But I want to do what I love, and I would like to share it, even if it might not necessarily be interesting to some people. The other challenge is if sometimes I get down and... Okay, so my camera just died because it didn't want me to talk about my feelings, which is very rude. But I was saying that sometimes I get down, and if I get down, I get quite demotivated, and then it becomes quite tricky to film stuff or be creative. Or I would want to be creative for myself to sort of work through things and not necessarily put them out on the internet. And that will be the case if I drop off for a while, if I'm not feeling great. I'm not really going to come back with an apology for not being here because I've needed to take that time for myself. And I'm not going to show every creative process that I go through to get better, because sometimes you just need that for your mental health. But yeah, sometimes maybe I'll show it, you know. I do a lot of painting, so maybe sometimes I'll show you if I'm not feeling so great. And we'll do a sort of restorative day together. Have a cup of tea, an art session, a reading session. Yeah, And then a practical challenge is editing. Lots of people have really fun editing styles. I don't have the time right now to put in to learn advanced sort of editing skills, so these are going to be pretty raw. So I'm sorry for that, but yeah, hopefully you can still enjoy the videos. Okay, question 8 is, when did you start reading? I started answering this in, what was it, question 6? 5? But I've read ever since I could read. It was the one thing that we sort of had, like we had a book. My grandparents would always encourage me to read. So yeah, it was like my pastime, I guess. So yeah, ever since I could, and then I was always, in the library reading, or had library books and had my head in a book. And I would always get told off, at the dinner table, because I would be reading. Bored of people's presences, apparently. Which is funny, because I'm quite a social person, like I'm quite extroverted. But yeah, ever since I could read, I was reading. And question 9, where do you read? I read mainly in bed, to be honest, but also outside. I like reading outside because especially if I'm reading nature books, it allows me to really immerse myself in my own natural environment, and then I can sort of come out of the book and then appreciate the surroundings around me with similar principles that they've been outlining in their stories. So I think that's really beneficial when I'm reading those kinds of things. And otherwise I read on my mat. So I'm sat on the floor on my mat, my yoga mat right now. And I like reading here. I just like being close to the ground. It's comfortable for me, and I don't know. I think I feel peaceful because I do yoga on my yoga mat. So in my head, I just feel like in a more calm state and ready to be in a reading mindset that's focused and calm. So yeah, bed, outside, and on my yoga mat. That's mainly where I read. And when the apocalypse isn't raging, I go to coffee shops. I love reading in coffee shops, unless they're in London, because they're probably very loud and you probably won't be able to read. 10, final question 10. What kind of books do you like to read? So I kind of mentioned already that I read quite a range of things. But in terms of fiction, I love a lot of dystopian fantasy and like crime and thrillers, mysteries. But I'm not super into, right now I'm not super into romance, but I do want to try it and read more romance. I just haven't really fallen into it. It's not that I don't like it, it's just I haven't really read much of it. And there are great YouTubers who do a lot of romance stuff, like Noelle Gallagher. She reads quite a lot of romance, so go check her out. You probably already know her. So yeah. And then non-fiction, I mainly read non-fiction, and I mainly read books on like racial injustice and racism, colorism, those kinds of things. I read mainly in that vein around like Black histories and Black cultures and Black experience, but also a lot of authors from the area we call the Middle East and North Africa. So that can span anywhere from like Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, all the way up into even into like Persia and into Iran. I'm very interested and down from. I've been reading a lot of Sudanese literature lately, just kind of by chance, and also Maori, because I have some extended family that are Maori New Zealanders and settlers in New Zealand. So I'm educating myself on that lately. So I read stuff on like racial injustice and but also literature from people in different places to broaden my mindset. And then a lot of nature writing, as I said. So it's mainly racial injustice or justice, nature writing, and then Indigenous authors from different places and spaces. So yeah, that is the tag done. I hope you enjoy this time with me on this channel, and that it can provide you with something. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what videos you'd like to see. I'm going to be doing the next video on book recommendations for your zodiac sign, because I think it'll be fun, but it's actually a lot of work trying to think through that. I'm realising just how tricky that is. So yeah, I hope that you will enjoy that video. I think it's going to be really fun to make. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.